He could be someone at the executive suite of your company, a lawyer or a judge, a doctor, a lawmaker or government executive, someone at the top echelon of law enforcement, or who commands a military regiment, even a pastor. They are men in our midst, silently, efficiently going about their chosen tasks, doing various civic and community work, doers and achievers bound together by a solemn commitment to make a better society. They are the Freemasons of the Philippines.
Hello? Hi, Kuya.
Hey,
Alam niyo kung ano yung pinanghihinayangan ko sa buong buhay ko?
you're talking to yourself again, Lo. Ano po ba yun?
Ang pinanghihinayangan ko sa buong buhay ko ay yung hindi ako naging Freemason nung bata pa ako.
Eh, di ba, Lo, masama yung mga Freemasons? My theology teacher says, anti-God at anti-church daw sila.
Secret society pa nga daw sila eh.
Kulto pa nga daw eh. May secret rituals at symbols daw. Satanic.
Yan na nga ang sinasabi ko. Just like you, I was brainwashed to thinking that way about Freemasonry. Hindi tama yun. Alam niyo, Freemasons have a very controversial history, a very negative image. Parang urban legend. Hanggang ngayon.
Lo, paano po ba nagsimula ang Freemasonry?
At bakit naman po naging Masons ang tawag sa kanila?
You're really interested to know? It's a long story.
Freemasonry is a fraternity that is non-partisan, that is apolitical.
An organized society of men, imploring the implements of architecture and operative masonry into the arts and sciences of character building.
Masonry dates back to the time when people start building homes and structures to protect themselves.
The Masons are builders of cathedrals, temples. Normally, kung ito ay Mason at nagtatrabaho, we are still working, building temples in the hearts of men and all Masons.
The oldest document that makes reference to Masons is the Regius poem, printed about 1390, which was a copy of an earlier work. Mula noon, according to documents, kumalat na ang Masonic fraternity sa Europe at Amerika. The basic organizational unit of the fraternity is the lodge.
Originally, the word lodge is where the gentlemen put their instruments, were billeted in taverns and ales, where they discuss the future of the project that they had. The word lodge later became a room, meeting place of Mason.
Each lodge is headed by an officer called the Worshipful Master. Worshipful means highly respected or honored. The term comes from the judicial system of England and carries no religious implication. Master means leader or best qualified, as in concert master or master architect.
Matanda na po pala ang Freemasonry.
Marami po sa kasapi ng Katipunan. Mason daw.
Oo nga, Lo. Tapos di ba si Rizal nag-retract bilang Mason?
Sandali lang. Isa-isa lang, mahina ang kalaban. You know, Freemasons have always been at the forefront of the struggle for freedom of thought and tolerance for the different kinds of religions all over the world. Ang mga Amerikanong Masons ay aktibo doon sa American War for Independence. At saka pati sa French Revolution at saka doon sa 1896 Revolution natin.
The foundation of our republic, of our being free as a nation, is because of the blood and tears of the Masons. At ito sila si Jose Rizal, si Andres Bonifacio, Emilio Aguinaldo, at marami pa. Pangalanan mo, halos lahat ng mga heroes natin ay membro ng Masoneria.
Marcelo del Pilar was instrumental in establishing Filipino Masonry in the country. He is considered the father of true Philippine Masonry. Jose Rizal became a Master Mason in 1890 and used the name Di Masalang. Many reformers became hardliners like Bonifacio and were convinced that separation from Spain was the only alternative.
Emilio Aguinaldo highlights that the Masonic Revolution was Masonically inspired, Masonically led, and Masonically executed. When you look at the Filipino nation, Freemasons contributed in three distinct ways. First, the propaganda movement. The Filipinos who became Masons in Spain, they joined Masonic lodges who highlighted liberal ideals. And those Masonic lodges came to push for reforms that ended up being the propaganda movement that was the start of revolutionary thought. Second, what were those liberal reforms? One, most importantly, separation of church and state. The importance that the state must be secular because we live in a society with many religions. Second, the fact that we should be elected by representatives who we elect and that they should have a mandate from us. Third, that we must have fundamental personal freedoms like free speech, freedom of religion, freedom to voice our grievances against government. That education should not just have a religious supervision but also be supervised by the state. So all of these liberal ideals that Filipinos learned in Masonic lodges, the propaganda movement brought here, we started to see ourselves as one nation because we saw ourselves not just the capacity to govern, but a kindred spirit of being one national community. So if it weren't for Masonic lodges and Filipinos who joined them, therefore, there might not actually be a Filipino nation today.
Oh, pag-aralan niyo ba yung kartilya ng Katipunan? Ang kartilya ng Katipunan ang nagsisilbing guidebook sa lahat ng bagong miyembro ng grupo. At doon nakasaad ang lahat ng prinsipyo, lahat ng simulain, at saka lahat ng palatuntunan ng Katipunan. Yung original version is 14 paragraphs. Doon nakasaad ang lahat ng values na dapat isapuso ng mga Katipunero. Tenet number 3. Ang tunay na kabanalan ay nasa pagkakawang gawa, sa pag-ibig sa kapwa.
I think also equality.
Galing! That's the fourth tenet. Maitiman o maputi ang kulay ng iyong balat, ang lahat ng tao ay pantay-pantay. Kung minsan ay maaaring mahigtan ang iyong dunong, ang iyong yaman, ang iyong ganda, pero hindi mahihigtan ang iyong pagkatao. And these are the ideals espoused by the Freemasons.
You look at the time when we were occupied by Americans and also the Japanese, you will see that Filipino Masons led in our fight for liberty and for independence.
There were two groups of Masons who faced the Japanese invaders. One was led by Dr. Jose P. Laurel. And believe it or not, 6 past grandmasters were killed during the time of the Japanese occupation.
And to cap that period, it was a Mason who liberated the Philippines, no other than General Douglas MacArthur. Few people know it, But Quezon played a major role in tandem with Governor General Francis Burton Harrison in building and strengthening Freemasonry during Commonwealth period. The ranks of initiates were teamed with national leaders and nationally prominent civic, industrial, and business leaders. They were leaders in education, law, medicine, politics, including names that resound even today.
There are 22,935 active Master Masons in the whole of Philippine jurisdiction. When we say Philippine jurisdiction, it does not only encompass the Philippine Islands, but we have lodges also in Guam, 3 in Guam, 2 in Japan, 1 in Marianas Island, and 1 in Korea.
It includes nationally prominent Masons in government, politics, business and industry, military, police.
Lo, are Masons atheists? Do they reject God?
That's totally untrue. Do you know that one of the requirements before you become a Mason is your belief in the Supreme Being? And there are Christian pastors who are Masons, and so are some imams. So how can they become Masons if they don't believe in the Supreme Being?
So, does that mean that they are a religious cult? Kasi I remember coming across the term Masonic temple eh.
No. They do not espouse any particular religious belief.
Ang Freemasonry ay isang organisasyon na mayroon siyang sariling way of initiation. Kapag hindi alam ito ng ibang tao, they brand it as cult.
Hindi kailanman inisip ng Masoneria na siya ay maging isang relihiyon. Dahil yung mga Mason hindi nangangako ng salvation.
Before you are considered to be an applicant in Masonry, you have to believe in God.
Katunayan nga, mayroon akong nalaman, mayroon isang paring Mason, Katoliko.
Wala naman talagang problema between the Roman Catholic and Masonry actually.
For one thing, there is the ecumenical movement. There has been meetings between the leaders of Masonry and the Catholic Bishops' Conference group.
Masonry is secular in the sense that we admit many people of different faiths, practices religious tolerance in making sure that we learn to behave despite the inherent dogmatic nature of almost all religion.
In the altar, we always have the Bible. In Mindanao, we don't only have the Bible, but we have the Quran.
It is not a secret organization, it's not a secret society. Pero meron kaming mga secret practices na hindi pinapaalam sa iba.
The ceremonies are private precisely because they teach symbolically lessons which are best learned personally and are best imbibed in one's heart. We are not secret. You can visit our Grand Lodge anytime. You can visit our museums. You can join us in our social affairs. But we are essentially a very private organization.
An open volume of the sacred law, the rule and guide of life, is an essential part of every Masonic meeting. The volume of the sacred law in the Judeo-Christian tradition is the Bible. To Freemasons of other faiths, it is the book held holy by them.
The apron that you see typifies to protect the body. But in the speculative Mason, it's a symbol of dignity, a symbol of service to humanity.
Freemasonry does have certain handshakes and passwords, customs incorporated into later fraternities which are kept private. They are means of recognizing each other, necessary in an organization which spans the entire world and which encompasses many languages.
Yung righteousness, right, lalong-lalo na yung sinasabi sa geometry na right angle, which is also the square. Pag sinabing square, siguradong matwid ang iyong pagkilos, matwid ang iyong mga ginagawa. Yun namang compass, ginagamit namin iyon para nang noon ay malimitahan ang iyong pagkilos. Ang iyong pagkilos ay doon lamang sa nasasakup ng compass to subdue your passions and improve yourself into Masonry and to your relationship with your fellow men. Yung letter G kasi is the initial of the name of the Supreme Being God. Yung black and white checkered, kapag ka nabuhay ang tao, hindi mo maiiwasan na ikaw ay humakbang sa mabuti at ikaw ay humakbang sa masama. Kaya ikaw ay pinag-iingat bilang mason, ipinaalam sa iyo, dapat kang matuto at maliwanagan alin ba ang mabuti, alin ang masama. Yung tatlong kandila na yon ay sumisimbolize sa dalawang importanteng principle ng Masonry. Number one, it symbolizes the universality of Masonry. And number two, it symbolizes humanity. Yung three candles na yun, ang position nun in a perfect right triangle. Yun yung symbol na ang lahat ng mason, ang kanyang obsesyon ay marating yung perfection. At iyon nando sa center. Lahat ng lohya sa buong daigdig ganyan ang setup. That center table symbolizing na ang masoneriya ay hindi relihiyon. Dahil kung siya ay relihiyon, dapat yung kanyang altar nandun sana sa lahat na yun at doon ay nakatingin. Pero bakit nasa gitna? It symbolizes again yung center ng puso ng tao kung saan nanggagaling yung love, understanding and affection na nanggaling sa puso ng mason na ang sinabi ng Panginoong Diyos, "In your heart I shall erect my temple." Nung ikaw ay darating, sa pintuan ng langit, meron dalawang simbol kang makikita na siyang nakabukas at nakasara. Karapat dapat lamang na iyan na ibubuksan pagdating ng panahon kung ikaw ay darating doon para sa mga mabubuting tao na kaming na tayo, mga tao ng mga mabubuti, lalo na ang mga mason, makapasok sa pinto ng kalangitan.
Ito yung Grand Lodge.
Dito ginagawa yung mga rituals at ceremonies ng mga Masons.
So, ibig sabihin ba nun ay dito din ginaganap yung mga secret meetings nila?
Dito pinaplano, saka pinag-uusapan ang lahat ng mga proyekto para sa komunidad at para sa bayan. Hindi sikreto yung gawain ng mga Freemasons. Hindi ito secret society.
Ano yung brotherhood na sinasabi nila?
Yung principles, ibig mong sabihin.
Ano nga po?
Yun yung brotherly love, relief, and truth.
Agan-agan nga po, Lolo.
Brotherly love, relief, and truth.
Lolo, narinig ko naman kayo doon.
Taking sacrifice, giving even the last drop of your resources to others, I think that's one way brotherly love.
It deals with the craft from the inside, which is to cultivate harmony among the brethren.
Sa Mason, brotherhood, ang ibig sabihin niyan ay mahalin mo ang kapwa mo, kahit sino sila, maging sa iyong organization mo sa labas. The teaching of Freemasonry, to love everybody. Hindi ka namimili kung sino, basta bigyan mo yung kapwa-tao ng equal chance. Nabigyan mo sila ng respeto, you respect their opinions, you give them chance to express themselves.
As we join this organization, you have your specific obligation to your brothers. You also have some obligations to the community and of course to your family. And doon sa labas, when you preside over your subordinates. But in Masonry, you preside at your peers.
Ini-extend namin yung kung tawagin principles of Masonry, the brotherly love, relief, and truth, into our workplace, into the church where I belong, and into the whole people where I can encounter them day in and day out.
Kung tutingnan natin, ito naman talaga yung dapat ginagawa ng bawat isa. Pero binibigyan lang siya ng emphasis like yung sa atin nga, yung brotherly love, na dapat we have to treat anybody else na kagaya natin na equal din. kung magiging patas ka naman sa hindi lamang dun sa kasamahan mo sa isang organisasyon, is lalo kang re-respetuhin ng iyong kasamahan, hindi lamang being part of this fraternity.
Ito ay isa sa mga prinsipyo na pinaglaban ng Masonry, na sana lahat ng Mason ay kailangan totoo at magiging totoo sa lahat ng bagay na ginagawa niya. To be honest, to be truthful, as always.
You're truthful to yourself, and you expect others to be true to you, and you say what you want to say, and you do it. Yun ang ibig sabihin ng truth.
Truth is the very foundation of all virtues. It gives us how to conduct ourselves, not only within the temple, but also outside. At yun din ang dinala ko doon sa trabaho ko. Alam niyo naman, ang trabaho sa isang pamahalaan, sa masoneria, doon sa mga tenets ng masoneria and cardinal virtues ng masoneria, it gives me some guide in my conduct as an official of the government.
It's in living out this philosophy that one is judged by his own peers in the fraternity whether he is indeed a real or true Freemason.
Then relief. On the relief, the Masons are told to extend help and assistance to everyone, not only among Masons, but of course foremost among them is Masons.
Kung may nakikita kang distress na brother, especially Masonic brother, you have to fly to the relief of that brethren at tulungan mo kung ano man makakaya mo.
I have been a chief PNP. Pagka meron akong gustong malaman na nangyayari sa isang lugar, after reading it from the reports of my people, I call immediately a brother. And he will always tell me the truth and nothing but the truth. So you will not go wrong.
Hindi naman kami mga santo na mayroong pagkakasala, pagkukulang. At doon, napapanday namin ang bawat isa na nagtutulungan, nag-uunawaan, at kung naliligaw, tinatapik ang balikat. Brad, nagkakaroon ka ng problema, nagkakamali ka, at maaari ba mag-usapan natin?
The point of being a Freemason is that you seek to be a better person, not just in the eyes of your peers, but also in the eyes of the society around you. And that will take a process of discernment throughout your whole life. And sometimes, when you fall along the way, the point is not that you did fail, but that you got back up with the help of your brothers.
One of the requisite din na pinapaalaala sa amin is you shine from within, then all the rest will happen.
One of the teachings of Freemasonry is for you to divide your time in your family, your profession or your work, and your country. So for every aspect of this 12 inch gates, we call it, you should have always time for your family, you should have always time for your work, and you should have always time for your country.
You love your wife, your children, and everybody in the family the way they should be loved. Yan naman ang trabaho natin dito. Yung parents, the siblings, you love them.
The fraternity is family-oriented. We would rather have you with your family than with us.
Ever since I became a Mason, I tried to do my best. Trying to compel myself to do what is my obligation to my lads.
Once a Mason, it's always a Mason. But you have your obligation to do your duty. Attend meetings, provide services, take care of your brothers and brothers' family, and of course, your own self. And of course, never abandon your family.
From my early manhood up to this time, I would say that the principles of Masonry still would have a lingering influence on my life.
Doon sa travel ko sa Masoneria, I learned that everybody is equal. We should treat everybody as equals, no matter what the title is. Kaya nga kung titignan nyo, pagpasok niyo dito sa aming templo, kung tawagin, nakalagay dito, tatanggalin mo kung ano man yung mga titulo niyo. Lahat tayo pantay-pantay.
Hello, bakit puro lalaki lang po sila? Bawal po ba ang mga babae? Eh yung mga kabataan po, paano po sila sasali? O pang thunders lang?
Alam mo, dito sa atin sa Pilipinas, merong organisasyon para sa kababaihan, meron din sa kabataan, at sila ang katuwang ng mga Freemasons sa mga proyekto nila sa komunidad. Hindi lang ito para sa mga thunders.
Masonic lodges maintain today a long-standing tradition of restricting membership to men. This tradition is based on the historical all-male membership of stonemasons guilds.
Our first core value is brotherly love. That is a traditional term to mean mentorship. You will have your peers mentor you to become a better man. And for that, you need a model who is male. It's not that Freemasonry discriminates against females. It's highlighting that for this traditional institution, since mentorship is important, a male model is essential to being a member.
The moral and ethical values that Freemasonry encourages are universal and not gender-based. Under the administration of Most Worshipful Grand Master Romeo S. Momo, along with the indefatigable officers and staff of the Grand Lodge of Free and Accepted Masons of the Philippines, advocacy projects have been launched benefiting the less privileged Filipinos. This year's theme is Freemasonry, Bridging Men through Harmony and Brotherly Love, making better men for better society.
Based on my program, we have issued circulars to our Blue Lodges to implement the assistance to public schools. At halos lahat naman ng mga Blue Lodges natin have identified yung mga poor and medyo malayong mga lugar na public schools, public sites. Inadapt na nila yung eskwelahan na yan, binakuran nila yung eskwelahan, pinarepair nila yung eskwelahan. And in fact, we have donated school buildings also for the ITAS in Tarlac and in Pabia, Iloilo also for school sites which are more or less medyo mahirap na mga lugar. Taking care of the environment, which is also my program, we are aiming to plant 1 million trees throughout the country. And so far, we have already planted more than 300,000 trees. Sa tingin ko, by this act of ours, it is just to awaken the interest not only of Masons but non-Masons as well, that there is really a need for all of us, not only Masons, to plant trees. I think there is really a need for all of us, not only the Masons, to assist and help these students. Out there, my dearest friend, not only Masons, out there, marami pa rin mahirap na mga estudyante.
The other part of the theme is for the Masons to be an active part of the better society. So this is through charity works, assistance to public education, and various activities involving care for the environment. Let us continue to propagate harmony among our ranks and support the Grand Master in his plans and programs, not only for the Grand Lodge but for the country as well, for the society.
Papasalamat tayo kay Grand Master Momo dahil sa kanyang idea na magkaroon ng coastal cleanup, and yung HPG po is full support sa ganitong mga proyekto. Nakita natin yung gravity, sobrang talaga yung damage sa environment, yung basura. Kailangan dito maging responsibility ng each and everyone yung basura, kasi sabi nga, kung ano itatapon mo, babalik din sa'yo. So yung HPG po ay tumutulong sa Grand Lodge of the Philippines, kaya in full support of the Grand Master, nandito po yung HPG.
Ito po ay bahagi na natawag nating people's responsibility toward the clean environment. Kami po sa MFD, isa po sa mandato namin ay panatiling malinis sa ating kapaligiran, kasama na po rito Baybay Lawa, ito po sa ating Baybay Ross Boulevard, kasama po sa paglilinis. Kaya kami po ay nagpapasalamat sa pagkakataon po sa ito initiative At kahit papano, malaking tulong din sa amin na babawasan ang mga basong nagkalat sa ating baybay dagat na to.
Isang programa ito ng mga mason na katulad namin na tumulong talaga sa kalikasan natin sa ngayon. Environment is area of concern at dito nadidevelop din namin yung samahan, unity at harmony ng fraternity namin because we are sharing the same principles, the same ideals at the same purpose of helping, of course, preserving the environment.
Maraming mga projects ang mga Freemasons na hindi na lang ina-announce. Yung mga Shriners, ayan, may sariling hospital yan through donations from different members, associations. So, libre ang pinampapagamot dun sa mga nasusunod na mga bata. Tahimik yung ginagawa ng pagtulong sa mga kababayan natin, ganyan, mga kapusparan.
Freemasonry is about contributing quietly, this sense of quiet leadership in everyday things and creating value from them. There are Freemasons who are taxi cab drivers. You could be in the same lodge with somebody who is a messenger. The point of Freemasonry is not who contributes best, but how do we contribute?
I think we have many things in common with government, with church. That is, for one thing, charity. There are always groups that are trying to raise money to give to the poor and the needy and so forth. We also believe that we have to improve ourselves. Improvement is due to education, and that is why we really have always what we call Masonic education to remind the members on how we can improve ourselves and how we can help improve others.
Galing, Lo. Lodi na lodi ang mga Freemasons. Ang tibay. Ang laking tulong sa bayan.
Tahimik na gumagalaw pero masigasig sa pagtulong sa mga community.
Pag nagkaanak atapo ako, maganda malaman din nila ito. Anak atapo agad? Wala ka pang GF eh. Magka-girlfriend ka muna. Pati, ano naman magiging roles and contributions nito in the future?
Diyan ako interesado. Diyan ako excited sa mga GF na yan.
Gaya sabi nga natin, ito yung pinakamatandang fraternity and even though ang dami niyang challenges at ang daming mga criticism na kinaharap pero nalampasan niya at naipakita niya talagang ito ay nakakatulong sa ating sambayanan. Kaya't naniniwala rin tayo siyempre na dapat ang namumuno sa organisasyon ito ay dapat may malasakit kagaya ng ating Grand Master ngayon, pati na rin yung mga iba pa na mga namumuno nitong fraternity.
10 to 15 years from now, Masonry will become very strong force in the Philippines and in the country. And if you look into the membership of the Masons right now, they are the people that is holding positions, powerful positions not only in the government but private sector as well. I think this kind of group are potent force that will change and help not only the image of the fraternity, but this will make our fraternity more relevant in the future years to come.
So at this point, I still believe that Masonry is relevant. Unfortunately, not all members are Masons. But if non-members can only just be conscious of the lessons of Freemasonry, there shall be no problem with coexistence. If we have existed for the last 100 years, the Grand Lodge of England has existed for more than 300 years. I perceive Freemasonry even outliving our present generation. Because if the teachings are still relevant, and whatever profession you are, whatever endeavor that you have, still you cannot forget that there should be brotherly love against each other. There should be always be ready to help anybody who is in need or is in distress. And just do what is right.
Very relevant and becoming more relevant. Kasi kung titingnan natin, basta may organization, there is organizational discipline. And through the years, you learn lessons. The more lessons learned, the better improvement.
Filipino Masonry would continue to exert its benevolent influence on whatever will be the pathway that will be taken by our people towards peace, progress, and prosperity. This is because the values espoused by Freemasonry strengthen our principles of democracy, republicanism, and equality of the people. These are virtues which will be timeless and will always be timely. And since this has been the enervating doctrines of Freemasonry, Freemasonry will always be relevant.
I think it is. Dapat nga siguro we should propagate some more the Freemasonry para bumalik tayo sa basic. Dahil napaka-basic naman yung tinuturo eh. Brotherly love, relief, and truth. Napaka-basic niyan eh. And it is, these three tenets are true in all societies.
You will see how widespread this brotherhood is in many different countries. So it is really bridging among nations, among the brotherhood, and all of these promote peace, which is very important in these days where there are always never-ending small wars.
There are several youth organizations sponsored or supported by the various Masonic organizations.
We have a Demolay. The Demolay is actually the youth arm of Freemasonry.
The Order of Demolay is an organization for young men aged 12 to 21. Masons, known as advisors, provide mentorship.
These young guys have already imbibed the initial ideals of Freemasonry in their early years. If you just remember the general concept of brotherly love, relief, and truth, if you want to understand more about it, if you want to practice more about it, then it becomes enticement for you to probably look forward and deeply involve yourself more into organization and to understand what does this really mean.
May mga appendant organizations ang Freemasonry sa buong Pilipinas tulad ng Supreme Council Ancient and Accepted Scottish Rite, Philippine York Rite Freemasonry, Supreme Council Order of the Amaranth, General Grand Chapter Order of the Eastern Star, Mabuhay Shriners International, Aguila Shriners Philippines, Job's Daughter, Demolay, at Rainbow for Girls.
I feel so enlightened. Kasi dito sa mga stories niyo po tungkol sa Freemasonry, na-inspire ako.
So when you read and hear about Freemasonry, it is about
brotherly love, relief, and truth.
And the word Mason means
builders, houses, buildings, and cathedrals.
Mismo.
Masons are builders, builders of a better society.
To the general public, ako ay hanggang ngayon ay umaasa pa rin na ang tao ay makikita na ang mga Mason ay in general terms ay mga mabubuting tao.
Well, to the millennials, try to study about Freemasonry. Andiyan naman sa website yan eh. You click in your search engine yung Freemasonry and you will see there yung mga tenets at yung mga practices and try it out. Dahil we need people who are dedicated to the job to join the Freemasonry, to propagate it.
Ang ating panawagan ay sundin lang natin yung mga nararapat. We are guided with the laws and the regulations. Nasa sa atin naman kung paano natin gagampanan yung ating mga tungkulin. But all of these things, lahat ng mga tinuturo ng ating organisasyon, ng ating mga fraternity, lahat nasa atin yon para ma-internalize at maging bahagi ng isang pamayanan na nagsasama-sama, merong malasakit para sa bawat isa.
Freemasonry teaches the greatest values of the different religions, the greatest values evolved by civilization. So let us not forget these values. They are written in eternity, They are eternal. If we keep them in mind, I'm sure that we'll have a society, we'll have a country, we'll have a world that is more beneficial to the people.
I would like to reach out to all non-Masons and to the Masons as well. To really, especially to the Masons, to be more educated on the basics of Masonry, and to the non-Masons also to dig deeper into the histories of Masonry, and because we are an organization that does not invite anyone, I would like them to knock on our doors. If they wanted to become a member, to become a better person, just knock the door of Freemasonry, and I think it will be open to them.